Now that we've finished week one, I want to show you a little bit more about ALEKS or review a few things you might have forgotten. So I'm currently working towards week two, and I know 40 of my 60 topics. I have 20 topics left to learn before the end of week two. I'm also working towards my whole pie. Now these 305 topics are what I'm trying to learn before the end of the term, so it's not due till December 9th. But ALEKS is adjustable, so as I'm learning topics, I take these weekly quizzes where ALEKS sees, oh, do you know more than you did before? Or are there some things that you've learned that you've forgotten? And so ALEKS adjusts based on my current understanding. So when I'm in my Learn page, I can see what I'm working towards in week two and see all 20 topics that I'm working towards. Some of those topics are goal topics. Some of those topics are not goal topics, and probably what's going on is they're prerequisite topics for goal topics in this week that I didn't learn in week one or that I learned and then forgot. So in week one, I have 68% of the topics from week one that I still know, but there's some topics I still need to learn in week one. So for example, this topic I had learned before, but when ALEKS quizzed me, I forgot. So now ALEKS wants me to go back and review it. But then this topic I didn't learn yet. These are currently locked because ALEKS wants me to maximize my grade and keep working towards week two. The way I can get to those topics is I can finish week two early, so I need to finish it before the deadline, the homework deadline. And I need to complete my progress knowledge check, which is my quiz that helps ALEKS know what I remember from week two, or if I know more than I just learned in week two, and adjust the homework accordingly. And then once I finish that progress knowledge check, I can go back to week one and work on any of the topics just by using this drop down right here and going into week one. Another place where I can see what I know from previous weeks or future weeks is in reports. So if I go to reports, the current objective is my weekly homework. So I'm currently in week two. If I view this full report, I can see that in week one, I have 18 topics left that I still need to learn, even though I'm now in week two. And again, the way to go back and learn those is to finish week two early, finish my progress knowledge check, and then I can go back and learn those. For week two, meanwhile, I have 20 goal topics and 4 prerequisite topics. And when I finish these prerequisite topics, potentially some of my goal topics in week one will be finished because they're the same. And I just need to learn them before I can learn some of the goal topics in week two. Notice that I know 68% of my week one topics currently, but my grade on week one was actually 63%. So I knew less of the week one topics when the deadline passed and my grade locked in than I currently do. For most of you, what will happen is your grade will be higher because you knew the topics and maybe you earned 100% on week one, but then as you continue to work in ALEKS, a few of those topics have been forgotten, so you need to go back and review them and relearn them. And so this was my actual grade for week one, but this is how much I currently know and I need to work on to learn all of the topics well before the exam. I can also see my grade in gradebook. So if I go to gradebook, I can see that I had a 63% on week one. So I needed to do a little more work before the deadline. In week two, I currently have a 67%, but that grade isn't finished yet. So if I don't finish any more topics before the deadline next week, then I'll earn a 67%. But if I finish all the topics, I can potentially earn 100%. Same with the whole pie. This isn't due until December, so this grade isn't locked in. That's why my overall ALEKS grade, 63%, is currently only coming from week one. The last thing I want to remind you of is that when you're learning topics, you have resources on the side. There's videos, there's instructor resources, there's a book that you can look at, so you can look at more than just the Learn page. And sometimes there's a calculator. But if the calculator button is crossed out, ALEKS is not allowing a calculator for this question because it wants you to learn how, it's trying to teach you how to do it without a calculator. So be sure to not use a calculator in ALEKS when the calculator button is crossed out and disabled so that you can actually learn what ALEKS is trying to teach you before the exam.